Hello and welcome to StratoCast. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I'm Stuart, Strategos Level 3, and I run the BattleTech UK Southeast Discord and Facebook group. And although I have done so for a while, occasionally run tournaments in London and the Southeast. And what I'd like to show you today is GarageTech, or more particularly, this is day after GarageTech, because GarageTech was yesterday. It's my annual event where I get together some people in my garage. This is the garage, nice big double garage. And we play a ludicrous game of BattleTech. We had 6 players doing a multiplayer game of 3 versus 3. We had the Star League, that's the third Star League, or clanners. You can't hear the clanners say that because for them it's still the first Star League. And it's in 3152 in April, and the Star League are trying to retake New Earth from the Capellans. And the Capellans have landed their dropship in the middle of the capital. I've forgotten what the name of the capital was now. And they've, in landing their dropship in the middle of the capital, they have caused wanton destruction. All of those rough used to be nice pristine woods, and there's a few buildings there that didn't quite make it as well. They're actually just failed prints were filled with putty, and so these are actually a Thunderhead Studio destroyed building, which is really nice as well. I need to print a few more of those off. So I thought I'd take you through this. This is a ludicrous attempt to put as much scenery on the table as possible, and this is not all my scenery. I still have a little bit more, not too much more. I think the only thing I've got left over here is the airport, and over here are the boxes. So each one of these boxes contains 2 to 4 map sheets of scenery and the maps, because I ended up buying 2 copies of each map so I could put 1 map in each of the boxes there. And I still need to go and buy some new boxes because my latest project has been to print the Savannah maps, which I've printed all but 1 of. So what is on this table? Well, first of all, this table is made all official BattleTech map sheets, so no plain map sheets on this one. And the reason for that is because I wanted to make it easier for placement of hills, because it's much quicker, and for placement of trees, because then I don't have to use markers. If I want to place the trees using markers, what I've got over here in my lovely ice cream pot are lots and lots of markers. There we go, which I can place out and use them. I've used them in a few places, but I've printed a few of those off for that. So I thought I'd take you through all of the different maps first of all. So on this side, on the left side mainly, we have got maps from the Desert Hills map set. Plus we have also got the B side of the BattleTech Game of Armored Combat. This is the desert the desert map sheet, and I think the other desert map sheet that goes with that is over here. To make them fit, I did turn some of them upside down, and then we've got the different Savannah map sheets here. So we've got Badlands 2, we've got, I think I've covered up what this one is. I think this is Washout 1. I can tell what they are because I can look on the bottom. No, that's Washout 2. Go, because I've written on the bottom of them. Some of them have actually printed them on the bottom. This is Desert Hills 3 from the BattleTech Game of Armored Combat. This is Mine 2, I think. No, Mine 1, which is a lovely one, and did some time painting this and doing the kind of like layered markings on here. That took a while. And then we've got Mines 2 and Washout 2, I think. This is Washout 2, Washout 1 actually. There we go, Washout 1. Put that back. Plus I've got some rough that's been designed by my partner in crime, Neil Harris, who's also done a lot of the design of stuff on here. I'll point out his designs in a minute. We've got then the new map sheets. Okay, so we've got upside down though, we've got the Large Lakes 2 over here and Large Lakes 1 over here, and we've got the Winding River and my favorite, the River Lake, which is amazing. And Again, my good friend Neil printed this for me in translucent PLA. So if I hold it up to the sun, you can just about see through it. Okay, it hasn't come out really transparent, but translucent. So it's a nice surface to the lake. And the only thing I've painted on this is the river, because the really interesting thing is all of this on this side, I'm not painted. And then everything else is painted. And you're thinking, well, what's the difference? And that's actually one of the things I'm discovering, that this new filament I've been using doesn't really need much painting or painting at all. So there are two types of filament here. And you can see on this map, on the Large Lakes map here, you've got Overture Fossil Rock. And it goes through a whole variety of different colours. You can just see the colours there. And if I go to another one, you can also see the colour difference there and there. And it comes basically on a reel with just lots of different colours. And then over here, I've got the sedimentary rock. And the sedimentary rock is similar, but has slightly less range of colours. So it doesn't go to the extremes of the whites like this, and it's more kind of light brown to dark brown. The only problem with these is where you've got a multi-piece print like this, you find that the graduations create a different effect, but I actually don't think it matters too much. Now, all of these hills are Thunderhead Studios hills from hill sets, and you can buy them as bundles, which is well worth it. And have all been printed on an Ender 5 printer, which is venerable. It's been going for a few years, had quite a few parts replaced, but still going okay. Although I would warn you, with these filaments, you have to print them really hot. I had to print mine at about 235 or 240 and 70 degrees on the bed, because they don't melt at a very low temperature, and they're a pain to extrude if you don't have the temperature hot enough. I've also got the trees. Now, interestingly, you might not be able to tell the difference in these, but there are two types of trees here. This is actually printed on an Ender, and you can just about see the layers. This is a resin tree printed on the Saturn II, and you can see that there is no layers on this, but I actually have been practicing printing trees on a Prusa. My Prusa is happily working over here, and it's printing some small buildings, a Fluid Works building over there, and it did a really good job. It printed 20 hills in about 12 hours, 20 trees in about 12 hours, and they came out looking like this. And actually there's less graduation lines really on this, and that's a quick spray paint of green and then gone over the bases with a bit of brown to create a quick effect. And again, the whole pile of them up there, because I thought I'd need more trees, but luckily I didn't. The other type of tree we've got here are Neil's own designs. These are Neil's conifers, which are really nice. He's got two designs there, one there, and also a third design, which are heavy trees, which are over here, which I've decorated as Christmas trees. Or the kids helped me do that on Christmas, and they've kind of stuck. I also have another type of tree here, which are made by going on eBay. I'll see if I can put the link in the comments. And they're about £24 for 30 or something like that. They're actually quite reasonable. Or 20, I think, £24 for 20. And they come in different colours, from kind of light greens to autumn colours. And then he also did these slightly smaller trees, and I didn't realise they were slightly smaller. But these ones are the 6mm range, or 1285 range he does. He also does some conifer trees, but I haven't bought any of those. So those are the trees. Let's have a look at the different buildings. Okay, so we've got a variety of buildings here, some of which are designed by me, some of which are designed by Neil, most of which are designed by Thunderhead Studios, and a few bits designed by other people like Raining Fire. So let's start with the big one over here. We've got the Trinity Tower, which has got the nice kind of base on it. And if I take this off, including a Karnov, which is just happily sitting on the top here, you can see I've coloured this in with the hexes and the underground pathways. You can actually drive vehicles underneath through the driveways there. We had to come up with special rules for that because it isn't covered by BattleTech. We've then got lots of these small office buildings over here, which are all nice, good terrain. Very, very good because it's all marked on the roof, and that you can stand them out with ease on any of these pieces of terrain. This one's slightly more difficult, but mostly it's really easy. We've got the mega block over here. And I painted these couple of ones over here, just basically spray painted and then coloured with acrylic pens. And that actually really works well for colouring the windows, doors, and some of the highlights on the top. We have some of the larger buildings here. And these ones you can actually buy as well. And the ones you buy are actually really good quality, although for some reason they don't paint the H on the helipads. We also have a couple of the car parks. I love the car parks. They are brilliant. Big buildings. They fit nicely with the roads, but make an excellent large piece of scenery. More office blocks over here. This is the version 2 of the office blocks. This one I actually haven't painted, but the version 1 are over here, and the version 2 basically just has a bit more detail on the roof. If you look at the roads, we've got lots of different roads here. Again, all Thunderhead Studio roads here, from the 4-lane ones to the 2-lane ones. And this is, I think, all of the roads I've got. I think I managed to put everything on here, including the bridge. And I haven't done a lot of the bridge things, but this bridge you can see as it goes up, it's very good because you can stand miniatures on it. And if I pick up my new Cicada, my Cicada 4A did brilliantly in the game. And I can stand it at different places. So here it's at level 3 and at level 3, and then down to level 2, and then down to level 1 and level 1, and so on. So it's actually very playable, and it's got a nice clearance there. You can actually do double-sized bridges as well, but I haven't printed any of those. We have got the fluid works. So here you've got, if I go over here, you've got a geothermal power plant from a power plant pack, and going to some pipe work here. And then you've got the fusion power station and the base, which come from the power plant section. A pumping station there. And this thing, this lovely thing over here is, and I haven't really fit this on the table, and I haven't really finished painting all of this, but you've got the solar power tower. This is actually, I explain, I'm a science teacher, so I actually explain how this works to people, that the solar panels here reflect light to the tower, and the tower contains sodium chloride, which liquefies at 700 degrees and then stores the heat energy, and that's used by these heat exchangers to heat water, turn it to steams, turn turbines, etc. Science lesson over. You've got the extended HPG section, so this is my little HPG section, which is a ex-Comstar building. I like the things that go to the tunnels, so it's going under this river here, little tunnel network, and so that you can actually print extended, or you can print it retracted, so it actually comes down to about here. This is one of the new multi-part buildings. You can take this bit off, and actually had some trouble printing this one. You can see it's slightly lifted at the bottom, but it's not too bad. Maybe one point I'll print it again at the bottom, but that's from the Metropolis building set, I'm thinking. It's a separate set to the one where you get the Trinity Tower in, but it's quite good. And also in that set you also get this building here, which is the police headquarters, and a couple of other different buildings which I haven't printed. So that's mainly all of the Thunderhead Studios buildings. Oh, do have some of the Slums buildings here. So over here we've got the Slums, which is this mining camp over here with low rent housing. We also have some nice hangars here, which were produced by Thunderhead Studios, and there's actually a taller one which goes with the map sheet for the airbase. And then we have over here another Slums building. So Slums building here. And we also have the other parts of the power set up. We've got the power turbines. And I love these because they are great line of sight blockers. If you're wondering how they work in Classic, you just say that they only block line of sight in that center hex and are 7 levels tall. You don't count all of the extra parts, but they look good for Alpha Strike as well. So all of this terrain is good for Alpha Strike as well. And then I think that is it for the Thunderhead Studios buildings on here. And the last thing I printed was this large, actually printed this on the day of playing the game yesterday. This is the large fluid tank which contained dangerous petrochemicals. Always got to have explosive things. Over here we've got raining fire stuff, so all these pipelines are raining fire. I would like to have, if anybody knows who's played me online, I have a fascination for exploding fuel tanks. There's always a few of them on the table. We have some of the pieces from Steel Warrior Studios that don't trade anymore. I don't know if you can still get hold of stuff. The petrol garage I particularly like. And then you've also got the favourite piece of terrain, which is the Dunkin' Davian's Donut Shop. There are franchises of this everywhere. And if I keep going around, I can find a couple of other pieces of his terrain on here. We've got this lovely hotel. Okay, and I don't know what this one's called. It's called, don't know, have a look. Oh, it's the Ritz, I think. There you go. Oh, zooming it up. There you go, the Ritz Hotel. And we've also got the Salty Gronads Hotel. All those divorced wargamers that have spent too much money on wargaming and come to live here. We've got a few things then designed by Neil. So Neil has done some 3D designs. He's got I'm very jealous that he's got this. He's got a Bamboo Carbon X1 with AMS system, and look at this. This is just spectacular. This is actually a map correct building from the City Skyscrapers map from one of the old BattleTech map sets. And you know, I love the detail in this. You've got all of these people having their afternoon tea out there, just waiting for a battle mech to land on them. You've got these really detailed windows as you go around. You've got all detail on the side. All of this is not painted, it's just multi-filament printed. I really don't know how long it took him to print this. It actually breaks into two pieces. There's even transparent blue filament on the railings up here. You can pop the top off here, and then you can even interchange it. If I go over to my stash over here, you can interchange it with another top over here. So I can drop that on for a slightly more civilized building that's only about, I don't know what's that, 10 stories tall. So that's 10 stories tall, because I know that's 11 stories tall. And this one must be like 14, 15 stories tall. It is ridiculous. Even a Wraith wouldn't be able to jump on top of that. Although it could do it in two bounds. You could like jump up to the middle and then jump up to the top. So that's a lovely bit of scenery. He was thinking of 3D printing all of the scenery for that, and then he realised that basically the problem is the streets were all 1 hex wide, and you'd never be able to fit mechs between the buildings, and so he kind of had to give up on that project. But they are brilliant buildings. Here's another one of his, a bit of a smaller kind of apartment building, and lovely detail again on the other side. Lovely the verandas here, and then there's one more. I think where the other one is now. Oh, it's over there. Little small apartment building over there, which is again printed on the bamboo with the multi-filament system. So we've done that. This, always remember, if you fail a print, it can be recycled. This is a failed print where actually I printed something with an infill of 0 by mistake, and then realised it made a Great Lake. So always reuse your things. And of course we've got some various buildings here which failed, or I basically just was running off the end of a filament and decided to print it anyway. Then we come to my building. So I'm not really that good at 3D design. I just decided I wanted to make some buildings. So I started very, very simply, and I've got an aggro barn here. And the GarageTech barn goes with the farm. So there are some farmsteads here. These aggro mechs are all from some unnamed 3D printing site, which I won't mention, but are all resin printed. And the little map edition here is actually from Megamech, and you can export the map to you can make the map in the Megamech map maker, I've got a video of that somewhere on my channel, and then you can export it. I've got unpainted aggro cork barnets that's been primed. I haven't painted that one. And then around here we've got various buildings. So I've started making the buildings for a particular map sheet, which is the suburbs map, city suburbs map. And you can see some of the buildings here. So some of them aren't yet painted, but other ones I've painted using a primer and using the colour pens here. This hospital was unfortunately the site of a war crime when one of Zav's mercenary mechs turned too quickly on the pavement and crashed through the maternity ward. We don't know what happened then because we've censored that, and the Capellans are not admitting anything happened. There were no war crimes. You've got various of these buildings. I've tried to go with a scheme, but these are heavy buildings. And then you've got the light buildings, which have the roofs. And that works well because you can't land on them. And you don't want to land on a building like that because it's potentially dangerous. You've also got the largest building, which is this multi-par apartment over here, which is, I've tried to do some like lights on kind of things here. And then you've got some more of the heavy buildings here, some more kind of 3 hex building here, and then lots of the smaller buildings. So you've got a signpost one here. They've all been done using Tinkercad. Then we've got some more civilian buildings here, which I designed a bit based on my own house when I was learning to use Tinkercad. So you've got some terrace housing, and you've got a kind of like more suburban housing here. And you've got a church, which again, it was all kind of put together using various textures in Tinkercad. A church that has stood there since the founding of New Earth, or Tau, what's it called? Tau Ceti Prime, or whatever, in the 2300s. You might notice we've also got some roads here. Those roads are designed by Neil. So these are single hex roads. I think a running joke with Chris at Thunderhead Studios, and I keep saying to him, why can't we have single hex roads? And he doesn't like single hex roads. And I can see why, because you can't stand a mech on a single hex road between 2 rows of buildings. It can get a bit difficult. So those are some of my buildings. There are more of them spread around a bit, and I'm just colouring them in. And I think that's pretty much it. We've just got I think this is a 3D print dropship here, but we're actually hoping to, we've replaced that for the actual game with a proper overlord, which was at the centre here. I'll talk a bit about the scenario, because the scenario was interesting. What we had was this overlord at the map, the Capellan overlord sitting at the centre of the map, which had to be defended. And the Capellan player had to deploy at the start of turn 1, or before the game started actually, within 8 hexes. So we had 3 players, each with 7,000 BV, so about 4 to 6 units each. I had 4 mechs and 2 mechanised, tracked machine gun infantry, and most other people had 4 mechs. And then we had the Star League, which deployed in the corners. So we had 1 person deploy here, and 1 person here, and 1 person over here. But they actually had long toms. So each one had a long tom, the 65-ton version, and basically they would start firing onto the dropship, and that's why we've got these explosion markers. This is another building I designed. The Cineverse complex with Mole had a very bad day because it suffered multiple direct hits from missed artillery shells which landed on it, which wasn't great. You got this repair vehicle here, which is another print from a unnamed site, but done by Neil. I did design these. These are just some very simple designs for field repair bays that can just be assembled, and some failed prints. These, for instance, are just prints with putty put on them, which helps to, it's just kind of like DIY filler putty, which creates this kind of like texture. I often use these for mud or rough as well. So that's something I put together. And so the scenario basically was to stop the dropship from being destroyed, and if it was damaged enough, took 50% damage, it would have to take off and everybody would have to retreat onto the dropship. And we got through seven turns, which was really good. 7 turns in about 7 hours, with lots of chatting and laughing. So we weren't playing the fastest, but it was really, really good fun. And anyone thinking that this map is completely impractical, well, one, you're probably right. Two, actually you can interact with this map, because anywhere you walk around this table, you are within 3 foot, and you can reach, quite simply anywhere there. And if I wanted to reach the other side, I'd have to go around the other side. So it's actually, this is about the limit of feasibility. Of course, you can make it longer. Maybe I should do that next year. My goal next year would be to have like 6x4 map sheets, and I could probably do that with the extra map sheets I've got at the moment. I'm currently printing the Box Canyon ones, but I think I might need a big garage soon. But that's everything there. And I'll just, before I go, I do, if you are printing these ones, and you want to print them with this color, it's a very simple process. We've got two products which I'll just come over here to get, which we've got the Citadel color Zandari Dust, which is the base color, and then we've got some brilliant stuff here, which is the desert, sandy desert, AK sandy desert, and it's just a paste that goes on the top, and then you can use that to create the textures. So that creates a really good effect. Or you can just print in this filament, and is there much difference? I think some people might think this white is a bit too stark, but with the different colors, it actually works quite well. Maybe the sedimentary rock is a bit more muted, and it's a bit better. So this is actually 5 of the 6 map sheets, because you've got, oh, you also forgot this one. This is the CityTech sheet, this one, and this is the BattleTech sheet, I think, with the 1 hill in the corner. So this is the CityTech one with the 2 hills, and that's the BattleTech sheet. I think that's correct. Or it's the other way around. No, this one's the CityTech one, that one's the BattleTech map sheet. And then these 2 map sheets are just very basic ones. This one here is the Grasslands 1 map sheet, which has just got virtually nothing on it. And then this one over here is the Ruined City one, which again has nothing much on it. And so they're quite good for laying out terrain on. So gives you an idea of how you could play a huge game like this and have a lot of fun. And hopefully that's given you an idea. If you've got any questions, you can post them up on this YouTube post, or you can go to my Facebook page, which is StratoCast Level 3 on Facebook, or find me on Discord on BattleTech UK Southeast or BattleTech UK, or go to my blog at comstar.home.blog, where I'm going to post a bit more detail about the scenario, and I'll post some pictures of the actual game. So this is Stuart StratoCast Level 3 signing off from a brilliant game of BattleTech, another year of GarageTech, and now we just have to work out how next year we can do something even crazier.